Alright, what is up? We are back. Today is day 5 of this 30-day streaming challenge. This one's mostly just gonna be a shorter talking kind of stream. So, as you can probably see by the title, what did I name this? A turning point? I'm gonna make a shift in my content. This was supposed to be my gaming channel where pretty much all I do is post gaming videos like what we've been doing. We've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. We've been playing Nino Kuni, some Pokemon here and there. But I want to transition to making just normal videos. And I do have like my old personal YouTube, but that's something that maybe I'll visit one day. This one is gonna be more of a like targeted kind of content creation schedule. The other one I might move over where streams like this happen, where it's just kind of talking, hanging out, but this will not be a forever thing. This is more to get my feet wet, to say. It's to make sure that when it comes time to actually do stuff like this, like streaming, and maybe one day when I have an audience, this will be more of a fun thing that I get to do on the side and not necessarily the main focus. I don't want to be a streamer per se. I do want to make content, and that's what this is gonna be about today. So day 5, a turning point. It is what I want to do with this channel. So I'm thinking I want to make a community for myself. And that sounds really dumb, because how can you have a community of just yourself? And what I'm really trying to say is I'm going to be making the content I wish someone made for me back then, now, maybe even in the future. So I'm really into cars. I have been my whole life. That was my first passion. It's still a really big part of my life today. I actually bought one of my dream cars back in January of 2024, this year. I bought a 2023 GR Corolla, and it is amazing. I love the car so much. I suck at driving stick. It's my first manual car, and I've taught myself mostly how to drive stick. My dad taught me like the basic principles of driving stick in his like really old Toyota Matrix. It was like a little hatchback, it's no power whatsoever, and basically what he had me do is we just sat in our front yard, and he just had me turn on the car, put it in gear, go forward, okay, stop, take it out of gear, put it in reverse, go backwards, stop, take it out of gear, put it in first, go forward. And we just went back and forth in front of the yard like 20-30 times. And like the most I ever really did was drive straight, do a hill start, and that's kind of it. That's all he really taught me how to do. And that's like over the course of like two different sessions, if that's what you want to call it. Lessons, I guess, is the better word for it. Neither of which lasted more than, I want to say, 30 minutes. So just up, and that's, when was this? I already had my license. This was still in high school. I think this must have been like around when I was getting ready to graduate, like around 2017, because I had to go up to his house and practice. Like, I forget what I had asked him. I was like, can you just teach me how to drive stick? And he was like, yeah, whatever, let's get in the car. I was like, oh, cool, we're doing this. And since then, the only other practice I've had is like Assetto Corsa and like other sim driving games. And so obviously that's not enough to, why don't we get some music in the background? This is kind of quiet. This might be loud. Hold on, I'm gonna pause your audio for a second. Okay, that should be like really soft because even I can barely hear it. Anyway, so what I'm trying to get at is, oh, and then I turned it off. We'll just start it over. It should be at the same volume. Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is I never really had the opportunity to be in car culture. My dad is actually the one who started my love for cars. He was a really big car guy back when he was really young. But when I was growing up, he wanted me to be as far away from cars as possible. He hates that I'm as into cars as I am. But that's mostly a projection of his experience in the past. He was into street bikes. He was into building cars. He used to work doing sound system installations really far back in the day. And there's actually a picture of me as like a little 3-year-old holding a screwdriver, just pointing at the ground with my eyes closed, thinking I'm doing something to help him while he's at work. And to this day, it's probably one of my fondest memories. I don't have a lot of memories from when I was that small, but I can vividly remember my mom taking me to a shop. I still know where the old shop was, back in Hilo, and it was this tiny little, it was called CD Wizard back in the day. I don't think CD Wizard exists anymore. I think it got bought by someone and then name change, and then I don't even think they do that there anymore. I think it's just like a completely different business now. But I remember my mom taking me there, and we visited my dad, and like just seeing the car, like seeing him working on it, it was something that even back then I knew I wanted for myself. Like, hard as that is to believe, like that was always something that I carried with me. Like the first thing in school, like this is maybe like a year or two after that memory, in preschool they're asking everybody, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, famous first question that kids have to think about. This is not on like a loop or anything. Damn, this is really killing my vibe. Why can't this just be like automatic playing? I guess I gotta manually like select this stuff. We'll just loop this for now. And what was my answer? I want to be a race car driver. People were saying astronauts. People were saying like their parents' profession. Not I. I was probably the only kid who had anything car related to what he wanted. And I remember my teacher not being immediately supportive of that. I had two women as my preschool teacher. One was a little bit younger, one was this much older lady, and she looked at me and she was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Duh, that's like the coolest job in the world." And I think at that point she kind of just was like, "All right, well, if that's what you want, I just hope you know it's kind of dangerous." I was like, "So is being an astronaut. You're in space. Like, how much more dangerous could it be?" And cars in Hawaii are one of those things that is not super easy to come by. Cars cost a lot more than they should here. Like the intrinsic value of things here are skewed so much because we have to import everything. So like, just for example, on the different islands, things do not cost the same. It's not like we're in like a major state where you can go to one city and then the next city over and things are relatively similarly priced, especially if like that's somewhere where that good is manufactured. So if you live in a farming state, vegetables probably aren't that expensive for you, versus for us where we don't grow vegetables here. We grow sugarcane. We used to grow pineapples, but that's kind of it. We don't really produce our own goods here, if that makes sense. So everything that we have costs a lot more, and that also extends to cars. So prime example, Honda Civics are known for being cheap. Like, you can find a Civic anywhere, any day of the week for a couple $100, and it'll be a running shell, or not shell, a running car, a shell, or whatever level of it. It won't be more than like a couple grand, like $2,000, $3,000. Maybe if you're buying like a fully built, like, I say fully built, but like a slightly modified version of it, maybe like $5,000 at the most. Here you have people with a 2002 160,000 mile 4-door Civic that is the lowest trim possible. It's old, it's rusty, it has more missing parts than your grandma's teeth, and they're still asking for $6,000. And that was back in like 2010. People were asking for those kind of prices, and the value of Civics hasn't gone down here at all. People ask for way too much money for their cars, and mostly because they're not easy to come by here. Like, you don't have a whole lot of dealership. Like, I live on Maui right now. I've lived on Big Island, I've lived here. The prices of cars on the two islands wildly different, especially like when you start looking at prices of cars on Oahu, the capital island. Cars are a lot cheaper there because they're not as hard to come by. They have more dealerships, they have different kinds of dealerships. Like on Maui and Big Island, you will not find any luxury, like high-end luxury dealerships. You're not going to find an Audi here, you're not going to find a Ferrari dealership here, you're not going to find Lamborghini. Like, you have to outsource those pretty much from Oahu and ship it over. So for stuff like that, those incur fees. You have to ship it, and if it's a very expensive car, you're gonna want something to protect that car with, and so the price just keeps going up and up and up until a $2,000 Civic just to get here is gonna end up being like $6,000, and that's just how it is. And so cars aren't super easy to get into here. And all this to say, I also never got to experience cars the way I wanted to. I pursued other things when I had opportunities to. Like in high school, I could have been in the autos course, but I chose engineering instead because that's what everyone told me I should be. They're like, oh, you like taking things apart and putting them back together, you should be an engineer. And you know, I'm a kid, I don't really even know what an engineer is. Like, I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably the best course of action. Fast forward to high school, and I'm in the engineering course my freshman year. I'm like, all right, awesome. Like, this is pretty cool. It's a lot of responsibility that I'm finding out, especially like when you get into like civil engineering, architecture, all the different paths of engineering. You are not directly responsible, but you are in a capacity of being responsible for other people's safety. Making sure your product works and will not fail is the main thing. By sophomore year, I was the only student in the engineering course. Quite literally one, and my high school had like, at the time, over 2,000 kids. It is the biggest high school on Maui, and I'm the singular kid. Like, they couldn't come up with a class just for me, so they stuck me in the construction class, and the teacher for that just so happened to have to create an entirely different curriculum to teach me at the same time he's teaching construction. So what my projects ended up always being was, all right, they're gonna build a table, you design the table. We're gonna go through the steps of engineering and coming up with a design for a table. I already did this, so I have the set thing. You're gonna try and make this. I'm not gonna give you any measurements, I'm not gonna give you any tools. You're just gonna have to figure it out. And that's what my entire sophomore year was. And so I was a little bitter about that, and I kind of realized quickly, I was like, this is not where I want to be. And so I quickly dropped the idea of becoming an engineer. And eventually I found that I liked to help people. So by help, I like to teach them what I've already learned, things that I find interesting. So I taught Taekwondo for a number of years. I don't do it anymore, but I made it all the way up to a 3rd degree black belt by the time I was in high school. And so I was teaching really young kids, like from the ages of 4 till around, I want to say like 6 or 7. I think the oldest kid that I taught was like 9. So he was only like a few years younger than me. But at the time, that was the thing that I was able to help teach. And all my siblings spoke Hawaiian. I felt left out as a Hawaiian, not being able to speak my own mother tongue. And so I decided in high school, like in my later years, that's what I was going to be. So I'm just moving further and further away from cars, even though that has always been my biggest passion. It has always been the one thing that I consume the most amount of content and knowledge on. And yet I have no practical experience. Still, I have very little practical experience. I've changed my tires. I've rotated my tires. I've done a brake pad change. I've installed a aftermarket head unit, and that's kind of where the list ends. I've rapped a little bit. Rapping is extremely difficult, but I'm gonna revisit that eventually. But that's where I want to make content for. What I want to make content for is the people like me, where maybe you weren't dealt the best hand in life. Maybe you grew up poor. Maybe you grew up in a town where nobody knows anything about cars, or nobody talks about cars, and you're the only one in your friend group that likes cars. You don't have anyone to talk to. You don't have anyone to learn from. We're going to be in this together. I'm going to be going on this journey by myself. Hopefully some people will tag along. Maybe some more experienced people will come in, tell me what an idiot I'm being, doing stuff. But I want to make car content for the people who just don't know how to get into it. I know it's a really difficult space, especially nowadays. Like you see on TikTok, YouTube, all of these really big influencers, and they're doing all these really crazy builds. They're doing SEMA builds. They're going to all of these drift events. Maui doesn't even have a racetrack outside of a dirt, I think it's like a rallycross track, and it's the same one that's been here for years, and a drag strip. That's it. That's the 2 tracks that we have. There's no Road Atlantas of Hawaii here. It's just that, and you have the street, and that's unfortunately where a lot of people do their driving illegally. And so you don't exactly have the opportunity here to test out your cars the way that you might want to. But something that I think is overlooked is that you don't need to do all of that, and it's actually fine if you're not part of the overwhelming car community. The car community is so full of hate nowadays, it's insane. I don't even understand the premise of hating on someone's car. Like, I can understand not liking someone's car, I can understand having an opinion about someone's car, but I don't understand the whole premise of I need to take as big of a dump on this person's car as possible. Some people aren't dealt the same cards. You know, some people might be working at McDonald's and that's how they're funding their first car build. Maybe it's like a really beat up Sentra from 2005, and that's what they're working with. And I know there's a lot of YouTubers like Gears and Gasoline, that he modified his Ford, what was it, an Escort, and that was his first race car. Like, he gutted it, he engine swapped it, and it was honestly a pretty cool car. It's maybe not the fastest car, and even channels like Mighty Car Mods, they have a lot of good examples of, hey, you don't need to be doing all of this crazy stuff to have fun with cars. You can literally just drive it. And I think that's something that kind of shifted me away from the car community. Like it's really cool meeting individual people who are just as into cars as you. Every time I find someone, it's amazing. Like I met a friend of mine now where he knew my mom from when I was a kid. He sold her first solo car purchase. It was like a Scion XB. She was like, I think like the second or third person on this island to own one, and he just so happened to be one of the people who sold it to her. And I only became friends with him because right now we have the same car. We both have GR Corollas. And who happened to sell him his GR Corolla? His partner, who helped him sell my mom the XB. So he's still selling cars to this day, and that's who I bought my car from, because he's been a family friend for the last 20-ish years. And he saw my car. He's like, hey, I like your car. I have the same car. So we're talking back and forth. And so I told him who I bought my car from. He's like, oh, I bought the car from the same person. I was like, oh yeah, he's an old family friend. He sold my mom her car. And turns out he also worked with my girlfriend's dad way back in the day. Small world. And he's telling me all about his previous cars. He had like a what was the Dodge color? Is it Plum Crazy? It's like that really nice purple on a Challenger. And he's showing me videos of it. He's showing me videos of his old SW20 MR2. And these are all cars that I used to dream about driving, owning one day. And it's always cool listening to these stories that people have about their cars. And here's me not really having those experiences, but living vicariously through them. And so I wanted to do something about that. I wanted to finally get my foot in the door and maybe help out some people along the way. You know, I'm gonna make mistakes along the way. It's better that you learn from my mistakes than having to waste your time, maybe money, on doing things that aren't really there. Like even something as trivial as washing your car. I think people overlook that, where you don't have to own a car to do that. That's being involved with cars in a way, is washing cars. You can master that art and make money off of that. And if you get good enough, it's a pretty lucrative industry. If you're detailing high-end cars, or you just have high-profile customers, you set up recurring washes, you do body work, you on top of that, maybe now you transition over into doing full resprays. Now you're an auto body shop, you're not just a detailing shop. You know, you can grow and grow and grow. There's not really a limit onto where that ends, and that eventually might turn into you owning your own car, and it just kind of feeds itself. And so I want to share a little bit of what I have. I made it to where I could afford my dream car. I mean, I'm financing it. I don't own it outright quite yet, but who cares? You don't have to modify cars to enjoy cars, is what I've come to learn. So what I always say in every comment section of every video where I see people arguing about best first car mods, I'm an advocate for the best car mod anyone can do is the driver mod. Work on yourself. Be able to drive your car 100% at stock form before you move on. It doesn't make sense to maybe drop 10 grand on a turbo kit and have someone install it when you can't even squeeze out every second of a stock version of your car. You want to go drifting? Figure out how to at least do a donut first. Don't just go straight into buying angle kits, welding your diff. That's a really quick way to burn money, get into an accident, like even endanger your own life. So I always want to advocate for skills first, and then you can maybe move on. It'll save you money in the long run too. Like, at most, you're going to be doing maintenance. You're not going to be spending money on buying new set of coilovers or buying new control arms when your really expensive PBM coilover or control arms break or whatever. So as my first video, what I wanted to do was test out some famous YouTubers car wash suggestions. So one that I can think of off the top of my head is Chris Fix's How to Super Clean Your Car, and he does that on his new to him then Ford Mustang GT. And I haven't been exactly keeping up with my car care, so I was thinking, hey, you know what, this is something that anybody can do to anybody's car. Maybe it's your mom's car, maybe it's your car, maybe it's your neighbor's car. You can offer them to do it for free just so that you have that experience. And we'll test how easy it is for someone with truly no experience. Are the products themselves worth it? Should you go with a cheaper option? Should you spring for the more expensive versions of things? And we can test out a myriad of different processes. Maybe you just want to do just a wash. Maybe you want a clay bar. Maybe you also want to polish. You know, there's levels to it. You don't have to do everything exactly the way some random person you've never met on YouTube tells you to, or TikTok, or wherever you want to get your information. You can just wash your wheels. You can just wash your hood. Maybe it's not the smartest thing to do, but you can. You don't have to fall into this trap of doing things the way someone tells you to all the time. Take control. That's what this is all about. I want to take control of my life. Maybe make some money out of it one day, but I want a community of people like me. I want to be able to blend my other hobbies into it. My love of anime, my love of video games, just anything and everything that you wouldn't really think to include in car culture. I want to be able to somehow bridge that gap. And whatever your hobby might be, maybe it's collecting things or designing products, so R&D, anything like that. Hopefully we can get there together. So look forward to some videos from me about car stuff. But just because of how long-winded I've been, 30 minutes straight of rambling on about talking when it really could have been summarized in like 1 or 2 sentences, but that's what the gift of gab does, right? You can just keep talking and talking and talking about nothing and make it seem like you're talking about everything. That's how I got all my A's in school, was just if you talk long enough and vaguely enough about a topic, people will just kind of be like, yeah, wow, oh my gosh, you're so great at presenting this information. I never knew about all this stuff. And just like, I gave two topics and I just stretched it to 15 minutes somehow. But if you buy it, hey. So let's play an actual game for a second or two, right? I was already playing some Smash Bros earlier, so that'll just be the easiest thing to jump into right away. All right. We're also gonna stop this music. Thankfully, it's already in. What? I don't think I need that to play online. And we're only gonna play like a quick game or two. Do we play as Captain Falcon? Or should we practice some more Corrin? Because I do want to get better with Corrin. Like, pretty much how I got all of these characters into Elite Smash was just I like I liked the way that they felt when I was playing them, and so I just kept playing them until eventually they were in Elite Smash. Like Marth took me longer than Bowser, who I've never really even played since Smash 4, when I've been playing Marth for way longer. Like, we can even look at these statistics of how long that I've played these characters for, and how long it realistically took me to get into Elite Smash. Alright, so I've played Marth for a total of 30 hours, and only after about 30 hours of playing Marth did I finally get him into Elite Smash, versus someone like, who else do I have down here that's in Elite Smash? Ike. I played a total of 5 hours of Ike and got him into Elite Smash, a total of 5 hours for Ganondorf, and he's been in and out of Elite Smashes. It didn't even take me that long. 5 hours of Mewtwo, 6 hours of Bowser, and someone like Mario, who's not in Elite Smash, is actually really far down there in GSP for me, 10 hours. So it's one of those things where I kind of just keep playing until I get good enough, and all of these characters have somewhat different playstyles. The only real difference that I can see between all of these is Corrin is noticeably slower than all of the rest of them. I typically like to play fast-paced characters, and I've been playing Captain Falcon since Smash 4, so I have hundreds of hours playing as Captain Falcon. I like the way he felt in Smash 4. I like the way he feels in Ultimate. Oh. I'm not great at this matchup. You're not dead? Keep wasting your MP, dude. Ah, he was definitely just trying to go for the crit. Oh, I should have thought about that. How are you not dead? Please just die. Sheesh, she lived way too long. Oh. Oh. Yeah, this guy is just a button masher, it seems. Are you gonna use your accelerate? Ow. Oh, I thought he was gonna land down. Oh. Oh, I died off the top. Oh, I tried to. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Oh. I keep getting hit by that. First of all, that was nowhere near me. Yeah. You keep rolling in and out. Oh, he didn't have enough MP. There was a lot of obvious habits that he had in that one. I don't really count that one as a win. Or maybe you do. We take those, I guess. Man, now that I'm like playing again, I was just thinking about this conversation I had with my boss today. I didn't know he is a gamer. Like, at the end of my shift today, we just pretty much talked about games for like 30 minutes. I was so confused. Like, I would have never guessed he was a gamer. And so like, we're talking about like Stardew Valley, Pal World, Baldur's Gate 3. I was just like, wow. You just got like 5 times cooler in my opinion. Oh, I killed myself. I wasn't paying attention. I forgot how high you can jump with Screw. Yeah. Hey, I tried to grab you. Where is everybody? Am I getting paired with someone not in Elite Smash right now? Is that what's happening? There's no one in Elite Smash? Are you? There's no way that that's the case, right? What the heck? Hey. That's not okay. Well, we're both dead. Good job. That was a significantly better trade for me. Oh. Why can other people grab me out of the air, but I can't grab anyone else? Ah, I tried to time that a lot differently. Oh, that was about to be a knee. Ow. Goodbye. Aloha. Aloha. Yeah, that's what you get for playing on FD. Not that that had anything to do with it, but I just have a distaste for online players who choose FD. I view it as like a skill issue. Some characters genuinely benefit from no plats, but stop jumping onto ledge. Ow. Really? Just right behind me? Okay. Oh, really? Yeah, I saw that greedy move coming from a mile away. Yeah, back throw. Yeah. How did I know? Wow, how original. Back throw again? Oop. Wow. Yeah, get out of that really quick. Oh! Up air? Are you kidding? What is all these whiffs? Like, up smash, going right through. Back airs going right through his hair. That's crazy. We'll do one more. Can I have my rule set? I noticed I don't get my rule set as often as like other people get theirs. It's kind of wild to me. All right, final round. Best 2 out of 3. Aha! Look at this. Oh. Oh, that was my fault. Hello? I guess my jab just means nothing, huh? Back there. Yep. Oops. Wow, soft hit there. Okay. I need to figure out how to bring this back. Oh, I accidentally hit B instead of A. Sure. Hello? I don't know where my tech went. That was dumb. I just smacked the ground twice, no techs. Alright. I lost. That's fine. We're out of there. Maybe now I'll actually face someone in Elite Smash. I mean, as far as Dr. Mario players go, that person was one of the better ones that I've ever played. Ew, it's sweaty. I'm getting ready for a lot of Rebels guard, a lot of Ahas, a lot of grabs. Oh yeah, look at this guy. Wow, you're so good at the drag downs. See? And then every Joker player is really just waiting for our Sen. Ugh. Joker back air is so free. Okay. Okay. And Jokers really love to grab, huh? Oh. One of my Smash group friends, Joker was his main. So I just constantly expect back airs all day, every day. Yeah, look at this button masher. He is not a casual player. He's not playing casually. He's trying to play like he's in Evo or something. I wonder who in the cast do you think are the sweatiest players? Like definitely Peach and Daisy players, like easily one of the sweatiest players. Who else is really sweaty? Joker's really sweaty. Clouds are really sweaty. Byleth players are pretty sweaty. Bayonetta players are super sweaty. Mr. Game & Watch players are pretty sweaty. Snake players are pretty sweaty. Zero Suit players are really sweaty. Who else? Who else? I would say Roy players are like a mix of sweaty and like casual. Yeah, there's a lot of characters in this cast that are just super sweaty. Like obviously everyone's trying to win, but the level of I don't really care is so different. Hey, I didn't get dropped down. I've definitely like eased up over the years too in terms of like how serious I take this game. Back when I was playing it every single day, it was like I need to win, like I need to get better. Thunder Joke. Or just spamming back air. I think the other thing about online that I really hate is that it seems to really eat your inputs. So like I can do one move and then it'll just not get done because something doesn't get buffered or okay. Ow. I thought he was in range. Oh, that was an up smash. Get off the stage. They never expect it. Yeah, that just beats most of my moves. Okay. What was that? Oh, I tried to up tilt. Oh. shouldn't have died there, realistically. Sure. I don't know how my move just didn't come out. Oh, I'm back in Elite Smash. But you see, like, I just kind of like teeter-totter back and forth in between, like, not Elite Smash and Elite Smash. Oh, you were like down there. You're not the best Pikachu I ever faced. But anyway, that's what we're gonna call tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that little powwow, that little exposition, the lore. But right here at the very end, I'm gonna clock it. I'm gonna make it big one day. That's it. That's all I have to say on the matter. I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm not even gonna try and predict. The only thing that I'm calling, I'm gonna make it big one day. With that,